everyone. Here today we have Professor Hyesoon Kim, who is a professor at Georgia Tech and the chair of TCuARCH. Welcome.
Thank you.
I believe we don't need to introduce you. Actually, everybody actually knows you. But do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Professor Hyesoon. Yes, I'm Hyesoon Kim. I'm a professor at Georgia Tech and been there for a while since now. And then also being the chair of IEEE TCuARCH since 2 years ago. So this is my, actually officially, this is officially the last year and I have to get renewed to be elected for the next year.
So before starting your interview, could you briefly introduce what TCuARCH is?
So IEEE TCuARCH is one of the technical interest group. So in the computer architecture community, we have two TIG in this IEEE side. One is TCuARCH and the other TCCA. And ACM has also two, ACM SIGARCH and SIGMOD. So both IEEE and ACM sponsored conferences that you all know, this like Micro or ISCA or HPC, etc. So each of the TIC sponsor different conferences. So for example, Micro is sponsored by ACM Sigma Micro and IEEE TCuARCH, and IEEE TCuARCH also sponsors other conferences such as CGU and ISPAS. So technical interest group is the community who are interested in a particular subject. And then that is one of the main job is organizing conferences and lead. So in case of the Micro is the flagship of the conference for this IEEE TCuARCH. So this TIC encourages or providing the community to gather the people that are interested in certain subject. And in architecture, we already have a good community, so you might not really feel that you belong to one of the TIC, but if you start having a new conferences, if you're starting a new community, then TIC is the first place to actually start, and then it's expanded to have the conference.
That's great. Thank you so much. So then the main part of this interview is about yourself, what you are doing and what is your goal and lifetime and your research topics and the student the interactions, those kind of things. So let's get started. First question is, why did you choose academia? You were actually in industry for a couple of years before starting PhD.
Yes, so going to academia is have a pros and cons. So when I first went to the PhD program, actually I wasn't really particularly interested in academia. I was to go to industry and make an impact in the world. Then during the PhD program, I realized the value of being in academia. I really like the freedom of research topics. And then the other part that was sort of coming from my background is I worked in a company, not too long actually. Now I feel like the time I was working in the company is like a field trip during all my life in academia. So I spent a few years in the company. But one interesting part was I was originally in a research group, pure research group in that particular company. And then company has the economy was really bad at that time, so the companies have merged. Then when the companies start having a merge, the companies start eliminate research group. So one day we show up to work and people are not working, and I ask what's going on, and they said, "Oh, our team will be dissolved." Okay. So then we were dissolved to the development team. So then. Just the day before, we've been working so hard to produce some result, and then suddenly one day, what do we do about that work? So like for a week, actually for the first day, people just was in shock and didn't do anything. And then a few days later, the researchers just continued research. Because no matter what do we do? Researchers do the research, and then we have a merge, and the companies merge, etc. So the experience was a little bit shocked, especially I was really young. So it was really shocked that working for the company could end up that what we do is for the company. It's not really what we own. I think that was really a heartbreak at that moment. So then and that kind of was influenced the decision of going to academia. I feel like if we do a research, it's my research, and then I decide what I would like to do. Now, reality is not 100% what I decide, but I already have a more illusion that if I become a professor, I will have a more flexibility. And it's true that it has a much more flexibilities.
That's true, right? So as a researcher, actually research for for your own name, right? That's actually one good thing as well. Okay, great. So then the next question is, how do you pick a new research area and new project? Actually, you are one of the pioneers in the GPGP research. I read your paper a lot. So how did you choose those kind of new research area and projects?
Well, in some sense, I've been working on GPU for the last 15 years, so I'm not sure I can really say how I choose a new research domain, and in some sense, I've been working on that domain. And some of the topics it led by my student, and some students brought some topics that I wanted to work on, and I rely on the students' decisions what they want to work on. So that needs to their new opportunities, and then sometimes just whole conversations. And actually, in fact, the reason I went to the GPU work was because I bumped into one of my colleagues at the time that he introduced the topic and was in the conference. So in a lot of these interactions in the conference or at the school, and that brings up these new possibilities that I think, oh, it's interesting, and I find a student to work on, and that's how we can try out different topics.
Sounds good. Okay, so then next question is, how do you recruit students in your group? What kind of talent do you look for?
So most of time I look for the motivations. The students are very interested in doing the work, and there is independence is very important. And then for a while, I emphasized a lot about this ability of doing programming, but these days, I think writing is another really important skill. So what I look for is essentially we want someone who is independently come up with the creative ideas. And so that's the skill set we want to look for. But reality is it's really hard to know that. So on many of the cases, many of students already have experience of working with me through these undergraduate projects or the course project, etc. So most of the time, the students are recruited through those previous research experience with me.
So speaking of that, so you are doing intensive undergrad research. What do you think is the benefit for doing undergrad research for both students and faculty?
Yes, I'm a big pro or also a big ambassador of this providing undergrad research. So I believe the undergrad research for the student viewpoint to give opportunity to understand what's it like in being a graduate school, and also what's it like doing a research. That often the course project has already answer, whereas the research we don't have an answer. We're doing the work that we don't know how it will happen. So I think it is a great opportunity for students to explore or expand their knowledge and also understand what it will be like. In terms of the professors, undergraduate research is a great way of trying out new ideas. In my also case, I started working on ML or drones, other projects through undergraduate students that are going to work on some topics, and undergraduate students are more excited about trying a new part, and then also the risk is much less for undergraduate students because even if it fails, it doesn't, like it's a PhD student, it fails, it may have a hard time of graduating, but in case of undergraduate students, you don't have that responsibility. So it is a great opportunity to try out different topics.
great. Okay, so then this is about your own job in life. So what is the most rewarding part of your job?
I guess the most rewarding part is when I feel like I accomplished something. So that can come from sometimes like a really simple email from students that they pass a few years but they send the email, they still remember me, and then they send also sometimes this thank you note. That is one way of also feeling this awarding. Or sometimes you submit a paper, it got accepted. Those things where you see something is completed. That's the part that feels the award. Or sometimes even sometimes when I give a talk, I'm very much more energetic, and then I feel like a very high energy after the talk. So I think sometimes I feel more those the energy from by working with these the students or working with the people. And when I feel like I'm giving something, sometimes I'm giving the knowledge, or sometimes I'm giving the opportunities, and I feel more accomplished, and that's probably the most rewarding part of the job.
So then this is the last question. So how do you balance multiple tasks and times? You are actually doing lots of roles. I cannot actually name all of them. So how do you balance them?
It's a tough question. I still don't know how to balance this part. Over the time, I started to sometimes I understand that there is I have to make a choice between the life and then the work. So sometimes I also give a priority to life or the family members. But then sometimes within the work, I just cannot make a choice. It just first come first service, or whoever asks more high demand. That's the trade-off I make. Yes, this is an ongoing task. So when I work, I often just doing a lot of context switch between this task and that task. I think this is kind of part of the job in academia, that we just need to handle this many different tasks.
So speaking of that, this is my personal, it's from my personal curiosity. What is your life goal?
Very good question. Life goal. When I was really young, my life goal was when I have some name, that something is followed by name. And then soon after I realized that is sort of some sense nonsense. Like you don't want to leave the fact that your name lasts after you pass away. So my life goal, I'm not sure what will be my life goal, but sometimes when I think of how to live, I think I just want to enjoy today. I always just want to appreciate that I have what I have today, and I wanted to enjoy the best of what I have. So I in some sense, the goal might be I want to live every day to enjoy and appreciate what I have, and then just live the every day in that way.
Sounds great. Okay, thank you so much. That's all about this interview. Thank you so much.
And thank you.